All right, everyone, I am Misty. This is Dinner on a Dime, and today we are going to do some easy chicken marinades. The reason for this video is still in the fridge, because apparently why not pull out everything you need except the one thing you have to have. All right, here it is. This is a almost 10-pound bag of chicken that I got at Tom Thumb. Tom Thumb has chicken breast on sale this week. It is a really good deal. So I decided, why not buy a bunch of it and prep it up into some of our favorite marinades, share it with you guys, and we will go on down the road, because marinating your chicken and then freezing it is one of the best things you can do, because then you don't have to unfreeze it, marinate it, wait for it to marinate, and then cook it. It is marinating while it is unfreezing, and then you are ready to go. So we are going to make 4 chicken marinades today. So I've got my bags here. I'm just going to pull out 1, 2, 3, 4 bags, because that's how many marinades we're going to make. Today I'm using these big, huge, super, they're called Freezer Gallon Plus bags from Costco. I do not like these because they don't fit into my holder. So I'm specifically using these on purpose so I can try to get rid of them, because I'm just annoyed that they don't fit in the holder. I've got my big Sharpies, colorful Sharpies, because you might as well have some fun in the kitchen. So the first thing I'm gonna do is label my bags, because you want to make sure you have them labeled before they go into the freezer. So this first one is just gonna be called Mexican chicken. Okay, so Mexican chicken is gonna be number 1. We'll go in order. I like to set my bags off to the side while the markers kind of dry on them, so that it doesn't get all smushed up. If you see me looking over to the side, I have the Chiefs game on. I'm just not listening to it. So the second one is going to be called Mexican lime chicken. You will see kind of a theme here. All of these marinades are going to revolve around Mexican flavors. We love to do this with chicken and limes and get all these marinades going and pull them out one at a time. It's one of our favorite things to do. All right, the next one we're gonna call Chipotle chicken. Now, I don't mean Chipotle like the recipe. I mean Chipotle like the pepper, Chipotle chicken. All right, and then our last one is gonna be called Mexican citrus chicken. All right, Mexican citrus chicken. All right, so I'm gonna throw my markers back in the drawer right here in front of you. That's where I keep the bags, and my markers is right there. I'm gonna let this one start to dry, and we're gonna get started on our Mexican chicken. Now, this is almost 10 pounds of chicken. I'm only making 4 marinades, keeping them at around 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds a piece, because I want enough chicken left for tomorrow night. I'm going to make Mississippi chicken in the crock pot. So I will record that one for you guys tomorrow and show you what we do for Mississippi chicken. I am making it tomorrow for a reason. My husband is going to be out of town. He doesn't like Mississippi chicken, but the rest of us do. So we're going to have that while he is gone. I do need a knife, so let me find which knife I'm going to use. I think I'll just, well, maybe I'll use the one. So the first thing I'm going to do after I label my bags is I'm going to go ahead and squeeze the juice out of all of my limes. Now, you're going to need to know, do you need any of the skin to zest, right? For these particular ones today, I do not need any zest at the end, and so I am simply just going to squeeze out all the lime juice I can get out. If I don't have enough lime juice, because I've only got 8 limes to work with, that is okay. I'll pull my ice can a little closer. I just put in a new bag and everything. If I don't have enough fresh lime juice, I do have some of the like Walmart special great value lime juice. I will throw that in if I need to. But we'll see how far we get with the fresh stuff. And I'll probably just go ahead and mix some in so it's all mixed together and we don't get like all fresh lime juice in one thing and then a whole bunch of the fake stuff in the other. Now, had I been smart, I would have just went ahead and cut all of these at the same time. Learning, we're learning on the fly all together. All right, so gonna just finish cutting these up. Like I said, I got 8 limes. They were 4 for $1 at Tom Thumb. So I just picked them up there. I didn't want to have to like go to Walmart for a special item because it would literally take me like 25 minutes probably with traffic to drive into town to get limes at Walmart to drive back to my house. So it just makes more sense to buy them at Tom Thumb since I was already there. 4 for $1 is not the end of the world, okay? So, going to keep squishing, squeezing the lime juice out of our limes. This is a fat one. This is kind of hard for me to do because I do have an elbow that's got an injury, this left arm. It's gotten better since I started the steroid shots, but it's definitely never going to be as strong as it used to be. So if you see me and you think it looks like I'm struggling, it's just simply because that elbow is not what that elbow used to be. That is for sure. Some of these are squeezing way easier than others too. All right, now you could also keep these squished up limes and throw them into the marinades. I've not done that, but I don't see any reason why you couldn't toss that in with one if you wanted to and see if that adds any additional flavor at the end. I don't know, I was just thinking about it, like why do we throw all that away once we squeeze a little bit of lime juice out of it? But hey, maybe that's something to consider for next time, is either slicing them up or just chunking a whole 1 or 2 in per bag and see if it lends anything to it. The first time I did this, like my son would get so excited. Every time we would pull one of these marinated chickens out and we'll just throw them on the grill. He was like, man, those are so good, Mom. And so when I told him I was doing this, he was really excited about this one, this video in particular. And I wasn't sure I was even gonna film this video for you guys or not, but my husband's out working in the shop. And so I thought I would take advantage of the downtime to film the marinade video for you guys and bring you along, right? So, all right, we got 4 more halves to squeeze here. And then we are going to go ahead and squeeze these oranges into another bowl. I have just 3 of the little mandarin oranges. The recipe calls for the juice of 1 orange. I don't have an orange here at the house. This is kind of just recipes I've perfected over time. And so I'm just going to try subbing out some of the small little cuties for it this time. It's just gonna be a learning experience. We'll see what happens. I have faith that the flavor profiles are gonna be similar enough for a citrusy chicken that it's not gonna be so bad. Now, I've seen citrus chickens that call for orange juice, pineapple juice, all sorts of things. I don't have any orange juice on hand. I don't have any pineapple juice on hand. So that would be things that I would have to buy in order to make this work. So I preach to you guys here on the channel about swapping, making substitutes, figure it out. Don't go to the store and buy more ingredients. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna figure it out on the fly, and we're just going to cut up some mandarin oranges, and we're going to use that instead of a regular orange. We're just gonna figure it out. So I'm just gonna do these the exact same way I did the limes. Woo! That juice comes out fast compared to the limes. It's actually kind of funny. Okay, it comes out super fast. Probably don't even need to squeeze it. There we go, as hard. Like the limes definitely have to be squeezed a lot harder than the orange does. Okay. Halfway there, guys. I got 3 more to go. And then I'm just gonna wipe off my counter real quick with a rag just to get some of this excess lime and orange juice off of the counter. So we have a nice clean working space here. All right, 2 more oranges to go. If you are a football fan, leave me a comment and let me know what team you cheer for. I am a diehard Chiefs fan. I don't care if they're gonna have a terrible year. I don't care if they lose games. I am ride or die Chiefs fan. Before I was a Chiefs fan, I was actually a Peyton Manning fan. So kind of followed his career around. And then when he retired, it was time to find a new team. We picked the Chiefs before we ever even knew what the Chiefs were gonna be. And it's been a fun ride with the Chiefs. So I enjoy every week. We're off to a rocky start this season, but it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Now, you're also going to see I am not going to measure every single ingredient that I'm gonna put into every one of these marinades. The reason for that is I am pretty comfortable in the kitchen with what I am putting in. If you are new and you are not that comfortable with it, it's okay. Measure everything out. I've kind of worked out about how much of something I use, and so I've listed it out for you guys. But if you aren't that comfortable, it is okay. Just start measuring, and you will discover over time that you get more and more confident with it in the kitchen, and then you will not feel the need to have to measure everything, okay? The reason I went ahead and put my gloves out here is because I knew this is gonna get messy. I didn't know how many pairs I would end up going through. Okay, so you can buy a fancy bag holder to hold your bags while you're marinating or making freezer meals or whatever. I just simply use a pitcher. I push the bag down in it. It's opened up, it's fine, okay? I want about 2 pounds of chicken. These are really big chicken pieces, so I think I am just going to put 2 in there. And these are way bigger than I thought they were gonna be, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so, I mean, it's fine, don't get me wrong, it's totally fine. I know I'm gonna have to change out gloves between each one of these, but I don't have 4 pitchers to like set it all up at once or anything like that. So we're just gonna make do. Okay, for our Mexican chicken, oh, I forgot. I told you I was gonna mix some of this lime juice in with our other lime juice. That way it's not all, you know, limey, like fresh lime in one and not fresh lime in others. So I am gonna do that. This is probably the one thing I will go ahead and measure out, just because I want to make sure I get enough of the lime into each thing. I think most of these recipes are going to be around 1/3 cup, so I'm just going to get the 1/3 cup measuring cup. I'll go over it with you, but that way I know I'm utilizing the right amount of that. Okay. All right. The first one, approximately 1/3 cup of lime juice. So I'm going to get that and pour it in, because it doesn't go all the way to the top. Probably better go ahead and just add some more of this in, because I don't think this is gonna be enough. Like I said, it's okay. It's still lime juice, it's gonna be fine. Okay, next up, we're gonna use 1/4 cup of olive oil. So I know what 1/4 cup looks like in my head. So I'm just gonna pour in 1/4 cup of olive oil. We need 3 cloves of garlic. I am not using fresh garlic for this. I am using garlic out of a jar. I'm not gonna measure it. I'm just gonna get out a spoon. Remember, your garlic from your jar is not gonna be as potent as your fresh garlic, so kind of add with that in mind. I'm gonna give it 1 big scoop and then 1 small scoop of that. All right, 1½ teaspoons of salt. So here's my salt. I'm going to give it, that's probably about 1/2 and 1. All right. We need 1/2 teaspoon approximately of oregano. I tried to get out all my seasonings here. Apparently I missed oregano. Let me find it. There it is. Oregano. I do like these holders because it's got the sprinkle thing, and then it's got a little thing you can lift if you need more. So 1/2 teaspoon of oregano. We're gonna need 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder. And again, all of these measurements are just kind of me like thinking through what I make and how much I add to things and trying to get you guys close enough. And it is going to be close enough. It's a marinade. All these flavors are going to merge together. It's going to be close enough. 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. 1/2 teaspoon of plain black pepper. There we go. And then, okay, the original, back in the day, way I made this was with cilantro. Guess who discovered that they were allergic to cilantro? Me. I'm one of those people that if I eat anything with cilantro in it, it just tastes like soap in my mouth. It makes me super, super hot. My skin will turn really red, and then I will end up throwing up. So we're not gonna make ours with cilantro. What I do instead is I add some parsley. Okay, so I'm adding some parsley, and then I'm going to add some basil. This is just a trick that I learned on the internet because I just started Googling what can I replace in this place of this cilantro, because I can't have it. And I still want to be able to eat and enjoy the food, but I can't have the cilantro because it makes me sick. Okay, so we're pulling it out of the bag. You can see it looks like super not put together, right? All right, so we're just gonna mix it up. Okay, we're mixing it up, we're mixing it up. Remember, this is a marinade. It is going to freeze in this. Then it is going to thaw out in it. So it is going to absorb these flavors before cooking time. Now, when I pull these out to cook them, I will cut them into smaller pieces, and then I will brush the marinade over any of the inside pieces that weren't completely coated in the marinade. Okay, I'm gonna smell it. I always like to smell the marinades and see what they smell like after I've got it on my chicken. Okay, so now I'm just getting the air out of it, making sure it is fully sealed. Okay, so there is what our Mexican chicken one looks like. Okay, so that one is done and ready to go into the freezer. All right, now we're going to put on another pair of gloves. We're gonna get our second one, which is our Mexican lime chicken. You're gonna see these are not the same. We like to do this. We like to make them where they're all a little bit different and we get a little bit different flavor profile each time. Last time we made one that was like a Mexican soy chicken. We've done ones that are real heavy on honey, garlic, and lime. We just kind of do it based off of what we have on hand, what we want to play around with, and then build those flavors from there. All right, so I'm going to get out some more chicken. This one's actually kind of like two big ginormous pieces connected. So I'm just gonna leave it like that, and that's what I'm going to use for this one. Okay, I may not leave out any of this chicken for tomorrow since it's such big pieces. I may just go ahead and use all of this for the marinades, and then I will pull down some chicken for tomorrow night because the kids really do want Mississippi chicken since Dad's not gonna be here. All right, for this one, we need a tablespoon of chili powder. So you're using a lot more chili powder in this one. So I'm gonna give it, there we go. We're gonna use about a teaspoon of salt. So about a teaspoon of salt. Fourth, a teaspoon of pepper. Don't go too heavy on your pepper on this one. Then we are going to do about a half a teaspoon of garlic. If you like more garlic, use more garlic. I'm probably more on the I like garlic side, so I'm gonna give it a little extra garlic, okay? 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. Remember, there's paprika, there's smoked paprika, there's sweet smoked paprika. This one is just plain paprika, okay? 1/2 teaspoon of cumin. Cumin. We're going to use 1/2 cup of olive oil for this one. Whoop. Okay, so 1/2 cup, thereabout. And then we're going to use 1/2 cup of our lime. So remember, this is 1/3 cup, so we don't need 2 of these, but we're going to use, you know, 1 and a partial, right? There we go. So that's all you're gonna need for this one, the Mexican lime chicken, okay? So you can see already this one's gonna look a lot different than the first one we made. And I'll show you the 2 in the bag so you can see. People always tell me, well, isn't one Mexican lime chicken exactly the same as another Mexican lime chicken? And I promise you it is not the same. It is not going to taste the same. It is not going to give you the same flavor profile on the grill. They're all different, okay? So again, I'm just getting that extra air out. If you have like a sealable bag system, that's great to use for these. I do not, and so I'm just doing my best to get the air out of it. Okay, so you can see the difference here. Here's what our Mexican chicken marinade looks like. Here's what our Mexican lime chicken marinade looks like. So you can see there's a big difference in what those two already look like, okay? And they're gonna taste very different too. All right, up next, let's see here. We've got our Chipotle chicken. And again, like I said, not the recipe like the restaurant Chipotle. I have made Chipotle chicken that is like what you would get at Chipotle. I've made like at-home Chipotle bowls before, but this is not what this particular recipe is going to be, okay? So I'll get my gloves on so we can get our chicken in there first thing. If you are following the Chiefs game, it is halftime. Chiefs are beating the Ravens 20-10 on the day that I'm recording this video. All right, so yeah, I'm getting to the bottom of this bag of chicken, so we're definitely not going to leave out any for tomorrow night's dinner. This is like a perfect amount left in here to do the 2 marinades that I have planned, and then I will pull down some chicken breasts or chicken thighs or something to work with for tomorrow night's dinner. All right, Chipotle chicken. This one's a fun one. 2 tablespoons of honey. I have honey somewhere. I can't find it. Guarantee you it's in that top cabinet. It's got shoved to the back. I need to rearrange it. But what I have readily available is this blue agave syrup. And guess what? You can substitute for honey. That's right, blue agave. So we're gonna give it about 2 tablespoons of honey, or in our case, agave, because that's what we have on hand. We're gonna give it 1/4 cup of olive oil, okay? So right about there, about 1/4 cup of olive oil. We are going to give it a couple of tablespoons of lime. I'm going to just say, hey, that's about a tablespoon. Let's give it 1 more tablespoon. There we go, super easy. We are going to give it garlic. It calls for 3 cloves of garlic. Again, I don't have any cloves of garlic, so what I have learned is on this garlic, just kind of give it 1 1/2, like 1 big one and then like a half, because it's not as strong, it's not as potent. We need a dash of salt, a dash of pepper. I'm just gonna give it a little bit of each because these are big, huge chicken pieces. They're definitely not small. Okay, now to make this Chipotle, here's what you would normally do. You would normally use about 1/4 cup of the adobo chili sauce and then 2 of the adobo chili peppers, and you would like grind the peppers up. That's gonna give it too much heat for my kids. So what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna pour the whole can in here. The sauce, the peppers, everything. But then the peppers will just kind of flake off before it goes on the grill, or however we're gonna end up cooking this one. Okay, I am probably gonna need a spoon to get this out. As you can see, it's kind of very firm in the jar, okay? So I'm not gonna crush up the adobo peppers because it's gonna be too much for my kids. But I want it to still get all that flavor packed in here. And then, like I said, we'll just not eat the peppers, okay? And we'll be fine with that, I promise. Everyone's gonna love it. Okay, so again, if you were gonna make it the correct way, 1/4 cup of the sauce and then 2 of the peppers, like really ground up, okay? All right, so here's our third one. You can see these come together really quickly. I mean, we're 23 minutes into the video and we've already got 3 marinades, like pretty much completely done and ready to go in the oven, in the freezer, in the fridge, wherever you were gonna put them. If you were gonna just hold this to make tomorrow, that would be fine too. You could put it in the fridge and you could let it marinate overnight and cook it. Let it marinate for a couple hours and cook it, however you wanna do it, right? I just prefer to get mine into the freezer, and then as they thaw out, they marinate so well. It gives it so much flavor. All right, this one, you're gonna see very garlicky, very dark from the adobo peppers, okay? There's our third one. 1 more to go. This one's gonna be what I like to call Mexican citrus chicken. Again, you can find all sorts of citrusy chicken recipes. You can find ones that are lime and lemon. You can find ones that are lemon and orange. You can find ones that call for pineapple. And really, that's an awesome thing to do, is take count of what you have and then go online and specifically find one with what you have. Give me a Mexican citrus recipe that focuses on orange or that focuses on lemon, whatever it is that you have. Okay, this says the juice of 2 limes. That's about how much I normally give it. I know this was about 1. This was about 1. Oops, guess it would help if I put my chicken in, right? Okay, I told you this is another big, huge, look at this. Big, huge chicken. So we're just gonna leave it all together and put it in one. I'm not going to cut it up or anything. All right, there's all of our chicken. All right, then it calls for the juice of 1 orange. Again, I didn't have orange. I'm just gonna go ahead and use all that mandarin. And in fact, since this is the last marinade we're making, I'm just gonna give it all the lime too. It's citrus. I mean, what could go wrong? It's gonna be limey either way. I will tell you this, if you've never made like marinades with lime, it is very limey, okay? You're not gonna get away from that. 2 to 3 cloves of garlic. So again, I'm going to give it like a big one, and then I'm gonna give it, you know, a smaller one. Boom, garlic, done. Teaspoon of cumin, here we go. I'm gonna give it some cumin. And again, if you're not exact, it's gonna be okay, I promise. It's gonna taste great. It's gonna be so flavorful, it's gonna taste so good. A teaspoon of oregano. Oregano is a leaf. It's gonna take me shaking it a little bit longer. This one, half a teaspoon of smoked paprika. So I use the smoked for this one instead of the just plain paprika, okay? I am going to give it about half a teaspoon of pepper. There's my pepper. 1 teaspoon of salt. Give it some salt. 1/4 cup of olive oil. There's our olive oil. And then again, this was a recipe that back in the day called for cilantro. I can't have cilantro, so for a long time, I've just been making it with parsley and basil. And so that's what I'm going to continue to do, is just give it some parsley and some basil, okay? One's kind of a little sweeter than cilantro, I think, and one's kind of more earthy than cilantro, but they come together and they make it taste delicious, so it's fine. And if you are able to have cilantro, then hey, more power to you. You can have cilantro. You don't even have to make a change then in the recipe. Come out, you fatty chicken breast. There we go. This one's a big daddy chicken breast. Okay, so our Mexican citrus chicken, going to seal it so I can get all of that rubbed over all of the chicken. Okay. One thing I'll tell you is when you are marinating your chicken, try to flip it at least a couple of times before you get to cooking. That way, like, it doesn't all marinate on one side and then none of that flavor gets into the other side of the chicken. So I've seen people make that mistake where they'll just marinate it in one, like on one side, and then they're like, man, it was good, but on that other side it didn't have any flavor. Well, you never turned it over, so I don't know what you were expecting it to do. All right, so there is our citrusy chicken marinade. Okay, so this was, again, a 9-pound bag of chicken. It cost me $18.58 for almost 10 pounds of chicken. Not bad these days. It's pretty good quality, I would say, from there. It does come from the butcher block. I was gonna move all these over real quick just to show you how much food this is. Let's see, I can put them back further. You'll be able to see it a little bit better. And I'm gonna tighten down these bags good before I go put them in the freezer. But for a family of 4, okay, this is 4 meals worth of chicken. The chicken cost me $18. Okay, divide that by 4. And then all of this was just stuff I already had, except for the limes that cost me $2. So I'm $20 in additional ingredients between the chicken and the limes. You can basically look at it as $20. divided by 4, that's $5 per dinner. There are 4 of us, so I am feeding each of us for about $1.25 for the protein for these meals, okay? So that's it. That is a 30-minute video. It gives you 4 great marinade ideas, and then maybe that will help also encourage you to try some new flavor profiles and get in the kitchen, get some prep work done. It's Sunday, I'm trying to get my prep done, trying to do it while I'm watching football. So that's an easy way to just get ahead of the game for the week to come, the month to come, the quarter to come, okay? So I will see you guys in the next video. And if you have a favorite chicken marinade, feel free to link it down in the comments, because I would love to go take a look at it, because I'm an adventurous eater and I love to go check out things and make my own, and then it's more likely to get my family to eat it. So if I made it, they're more likely to try it and work with me. So, all right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.